Good evening, back
Hello.
again. We've seen 4 shows today, and this is show number, or actually our correction. Jane has seen 4 shows. I have seen 3 shows.
Lightweight.
Lightweight, yeah, see. But I did stay.
No, you've been working very
I've
hard.
been trying to get the videos uploaded because we're at least 2 days behind.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't factor that in when we scheduled all the stuff we wanted to see. So next year, if anybody wants to come along with us and just sit at a computer all day, you're quite welcome. Anyway, right. So we met up at 5 o'clock in the piano drum at the Old Royal High. Is it High Street? Because it just says Old Royal High.
Old Royal High.
High. Yeah. Which was a bit of a walk, but it's and it was, you walk past the old
sort of council
building. No, it's the old government building, Scottish government building, which is this incredible, in fact I'll put a picture in, incredible 1930s building, which is still a part of the seat of Scottish government.
We've never been round
down there. And you get a fantastic look of Arthur's seat and all of that, which we took some pictures of that as well. Anyway, so it was a bit of a walk, but it was fine really. And we went to see Clara, Sex, Love and Classical Music. It's theatre, solo show music. And shall I read it out to you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, Clara tells the story of 19th century piano star Clara Schumann. The show might be set in the past, but it tackles issues that are relevant and topical with irony and sensitivity, posing questions we still haven't answered in the 21st century. Fusing words, music, irony and poignant encounters, Clara tells the story of a fascinating yet complex artist turning her relationships and life inside out, sometimes unpleasant, a little bit wicked, but with the truth in every note. Warning, this show here's the warning, this is great. Warning, this show contains live music, love and the unusual, eye-opening look into the past. It's not on for very long either. It's only on until the 14th. What did you think?
I thought it was in a beautiful setting because it's.
The room was fantastic, actually.
It's called the Piano Drome Amphitheatre. And it's really old wooden.
Yeah, I've got a picture.
I
took a picture before she started when she was.
Because when we went in, we were all handed cushions.
Cushions, which she needed.
Yeah.
Actually, the lady said to me, because I was talking to the lady before she let us in, and she was telling me it was an old school, and she said, "When you go in, you will need the cushions." She said, "So yeah."
It was beautiful. It was fascinating, and so there was a grand piano in the centre. And it's a one-person show solo. I liked it, but because the actor wasn't wearing a mic, it meant that she did. I mean, she was great at walking around, and so she would only have her back to you momentarily.
Yeah, she engaged all of us.
And she did engage us brilliantly well, but I have to say I missed when she had her back to us, because there are 3 sections. I missed bits. I couldn't I couldn't hear the dialogue, not clearly, so I missed bits. I mean, I didn't miss the.
Sorry, we left our phones on.
Sorry, that was an we'll
turn.
Yeah. But it was quite modern, which. But obviously they had this diary.
Well, that was my question to you. I mean, I actually agree. I hadn't picked up on the fact of her turning away, but I did find the storytelling part of it. I loved the music. I thought she was a fantastic pianist.
Yeah,
she really. She really played some lovely pieces. But I found the story slightly confusing, and when she was talking about sex, and I thought, well, was that really in the diaries? And is it an adaptation of the diaries, or is that an...
Well, that I can't... Well,
we don't know.
Hang on, I did pick up some flyers.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so...
Because I it's not that I wasn't engaged, I was engaged. I liked the music better than the story, if I'm honest. It's sort of slightly... I guess I didn't really care enough about the story. Does it say?
No, it doesn't say any more.
So it may be that it's based on the real diaries. I mean,
it was the story of her life in a very sort of shortened. So her
up until her meeting.
So when she first met Schumann, Robert Schumann, and then the opposition. From her father. That was interesting because she actually had to take her father to court so that she could marry.
Yeah.
And then, but the whole thing begins because she's about to go on a first date with Johannes Brahms. Which is Brahms, isn't it? Yeah, Brahms.
And that's after Schumann's death.
And that's, exactly.
Or is he?
No. That's well.
Or is he still in the asylum?
Well, it's
all we
know is it's the first date.
Yeah.
But there was a point when all three of them were living in the same house.
And because she'd said that right at the beginning, and she did walk around and she asked people what you would do on a first date, and people looked a bit nonplussed to some extent.
Because she was doing it from 1830 something.
And we're all we're all talking about, well, you might go to pictures or so it felt a bit.
That was a bit weird.
I know it's probably a device that she used to engage the audience, but it didn't quite work for me. I mean, she didn't ask us, but because we sat.
And then, of course, she was a pianist, a concert pianist in her own right. She loved touring, whereas apparently Robert Schumann didn't. But then, of course, they got married, and she had, at least seven children.
She was 7 children, and she said that she didn't like being a mother. She didn't like being pregnant, and she didn't like. I think she said she didn't like her children.
Yeah, she appeared very bitter. About that she was forced into this traditional role of wife and mother, because it meant she couldn't go touring, and she was very angry about that, and very bitter. She felt that. Her true calling was to be a concert pianist, and she couldn't do it. So it was that was my reason for saying it was quite modern, and again there's a lot about women's roles, and it's a current topic. Well, it's been a current topic for years and years, but it's obviously
still an issue, isn't it?
It's
rightly so.
Yeah. And it was an issue for her
then.
We
are still trying to work towards women's equality.
And she felt very strongly about it, and that was portrayed in between some beautiful piano playing.
I loved the music. Like I say, I wasn't that engaged with the story after the first bit, but I did not enjoy it.
No, I mean,
and the room where it was performed was, the piano.
Yes,
the piano didn't sound. I mean, it was a grand piano, and it sounded good, but it didn't sound like a really, really good piano.
No, well, the first piece she played, there was a weird reverberation.
And I think it had a squeaky pedal. I mean, she did mention a squeaky pedal at one point.
I didn't hear that.
But and it didn't seem to be there all the time. But
no, I didn't hear that.
I mean, it was you'd call it a good house piano, not a concert grand piano. I mean, but there again, it's a theatrical show in that respect. But it was reasonably in tune. Wasn't totally in tune. I didn't think.
I wouldn't have a clue. Excuse me, a clue about that.
But I did enjoy her playing. I thought she's a fantastic pianist. How many stars?
I think I'd go for a 3.
I'm going to go for a 3 too, as well. Yes, enjoyable to a point. I think. Didn't you say a chap fell asleep?
Oh, he was a very elderly gentleman.
Right. I mean, it was quite a warm room as well, and
but his wife did poke him, and he woke up.
Yeah.
But more than that, and I know this has got nothing to do with the review, but a young gentleman, after about 10 minutes, it was an hour-long production, after about 10 minutes, he got up and went out, but there was a bag, and I thought, oh, that's it, he's just gone to the loo. But he never came back. But the
bag was still there.
Bag was still
slightly
there.
worrying.
Actually, we should have said something about that in hindsight.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen, I mean, it's worth mentioning about people leaving performances or going to the loo. I mean, these performances are not long, but there is, I mean, it's particularly young people. We've just been to a performance for an hour and 20 minutes, I think it was, wasn't it? Fantastic piece, which we
were about to review.
Yeah, and you know, we were all in rows, and this girl got up in row in front of us, and everybody had to stand up and come out of the row so that she could then go to the loo. And then obviously, like 5 or 10 minutes later, she came back, and everybody gets. So, but I mean, you know, unless you've got bladder problems, you know, I'm sorry. Think about this before you go into a performance. Like, oh, I need to pop to the loo before we go into somewhere.
I mean,
and
we don't. Yeah,
we've seen quite a lot of it, of people leaving and then coming back again. You know. Anyway, that's 3 stars. Right, it's on at the Pianodrome at the Old Royal High, which is in the Pianodrome Amphitheatre. When you arrive there are lots of little signs saying where it is. You sort of got a bit lost, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You did, because you rang me. You rang me and said, "Where are you?" And
because I was there. Viewers,
she was lost. She was
lost. At a you know, a space that was getting ready for a show.
She was lost.
And he was nowhere to be seen. Lost. So at that point, I rang him to find he's there in a queue, and I'm saying, "But what queue?" Anyway, it turns out there are 2 amphitheatres. Who would know?
I mean, and Jane actually said there's an orchestra here.
Yeah, I did.
And the lady, I started talking to the lady was checking everybody's tickets. She went, "That's the practice room. It's a nice room in there." She said, but it's a practice room. The orchestra are about to practice. There's no orchestra in this show.
You wouldn't know. It's
fabulous. I mean, turn up a little bit early. There is a little cafe bar thing where you can get a drink or a soft drink. No, they didn't do coffees, but. And then you sort of go up, so you have to sort of follow the signs to some extent to get to the right bit. But there's plenty of people around to ask, and you went back to the box office to ask. Anyway, but you should say how much it is.
Okay. Well, I can do that because it's.
I've got it here. It's only until the 14th. I think I probably already said that, and it costs £11 full price, £9 as a concession. Okay, good stuff. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back shortly with more.
Cheers.
Bye.